Uh, Hare Krishna Prabhu, is the meeting going live?
Live streaming.
Yes, Mataji, YouTube link is there. Who is asking, Mataji?
No, because here I'm not able to go again. There's a connection has timed out, so I have to try again. I don't know why it's coming like that.
Let me check. I will check from the YouTube. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Yes, Auntie Mataji confirming. Okay, I am still checking on the YouTube.
Okay, now it's going. Okay. So the author, he sees Krishna and he sees that all his parts are so beautiful. Okay. So he's seeing the eyes of Lord is so beautiful. The smile is so beautiful. The face is so beautiful. Krishna's heart is so beautiful, and his walking is so beautiful, like that. So that's the Madhurashtak. Okay, thank you, Mataji. So let's see. Okay. So this Madhurashtaka is basically describing Krishna's beauty, and it is okay. The author's name is not given. Yes, Pradosh Prabhu, is it okay? Okay.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
You're able to see the screen? Okay.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, so the author, he sees the lips of Krishna, Adharam, Madhuram, and then he's like, wait a minute, not the lips of Krishna is not beautiful, the Vadanam, the face itself is beautiful. Oh, wait, in the face, Nayanam is so beautiful, his eyes, lotus eyes. Okay, wait, Krishna is smiling now, his smile is so beautiful, his heart is beautiful, his walking is beautiful. What to say? He's Madhura Adipati, right? Madhuradipati. Akhilam Madhuram, everything else of Krishna is beautiful. Adharam Madhuram, Vadanam Madhuram, Nayanam Madhuram, Hasidam Madhuram, Hridayam Madhuram, Gamanam Madhuram, Madhuradipati, Akhilam Madhura, O Madhuradipati, Akhilam Madhuram, Vajanam Madhuram, Charidam Madhuram, Vasanam Madhuram, Valitam Madhuram, Chalitam Madhuram, Ramidam Madhuram, Madhuradipate, Akhilam Madhuram, O Madhuradipate, Akhilam Madhuram, Venur Madhura, Renur Madhura, Panir Madhura, Padau Madhura, Nrityam Madhuram, Sakyam Madhuram, Madhuradipate, Akhilam Madhura, O Madhuradipate, Akhilam Madhuram, Geetam Madhuram, Geetam Madhuram, Bhuktam Madhuram, Suktam Madhuram, Rupam Madhuram, Tilagam Madhuram, Madhuradipate, Akhilam Madhura, O Madhuradipate, Akhilam Madhuram, Karanam Madhuram, Karanam Madhuram, Karanam Madhuram, Ramanam Madhuram, Vamitam Madhuram, Samitam Madhuram, Madhuradipate, Akhilam Madhura, O Madhuradipate, Akhilam Madhuram, Gunja Madhura, Mala Madhura, Yamuna Madhura, Vichi Madhura, Salilam Madhuram, Kamalam Madhuram, Madhuradipate, Akhilam Madhura, O Madhuradipate, akhilam madhuram. Gopi madhura, leela madhura, yuktam madhuram, bhuktam madhuram, dristam madhuram, shishtam madhuram. Madhuradipade akhilam madhura, O Madhuradipade akhilam madhuram. Gopa madhura, Gao madhura, Shashtir madhura, Srishtir madhura, Dalitam madhuram, Falitam madhuram. Madhuradipade akhilam madhura, O Madhuradipade akhilam madhuram. Adharam madhuram, vadanam madhuram, hasitam madhuram, lalitam madhuram, nayanam madhuram, hridayam madhuram. Madhuradipade akhilam madhuram, O Madhuradipade akhilam madhuram. Okay, so everything about Krishna is Madhura. He's sweet, sweet, sweet. Right? Very sweet. His lips are sweet, his face is sweet, his eyes are sweet, his smile is sweet, his heart is sweet, his walk is sweet. What to say? Everything is sweet about the Lord of sweetness. So Krishna is a lot of sweetness, Krishna is a lot of cuteness and power. Everything. He is the ultimate, right? So his words are sweet. Sometimes it said his flute is so fortunate that the flute is able to drink the nectar of the lotus lips of Krishna. And how fortunate the flute, it's just a bamboo stick, and how fortunate. So it's not like in spiritual world that you need to have a human form of life to be there. No, the spirit soul can be a peacock or a cow or a flute or anything for the service of Krishna. So all of us can't be the boyfriends of Krishna, the cowhead friends or the gopis, but we can be in different rasas in Golok Vrindavan. And his words are sweet, his character is sweet, his garments are sweet, his navel is sweet, his movement is sweet, his wandering are sweet. Everything is sweet about the Lord of sweetness. His flute is sweet, his dust is sweet, his hands are sweet, his feet is sweet, his dancing is sweet, his friendship is also sweet. Everything is sweet about the Lord of sweetness. His singing is sweet, his yellow dress is sweet, his eating is sweet, his sleeping is sweet, his form is sweet, his tilak is sweet. Everything is sweet about the Lord of sweetness. His activities is sweet, Madhuram. His liberation is sweet. His thieving is sweet. His loving sports are sweet. His offerings are sweet. His peacefulness is sweet. Everything is sweet about the Lord of sweetness. His Gunja Mala is sweet. The flower garlands is sweet. Yamuna is sweet. His ripples are sweet. His water is sweet. His lotuses are sweet. Everything is sweet about the Lord of sweetness. His gopis are sweet, his pastimes are more sweet. His meeting is sweet, his food is sweet, his happiness is sweet, his etiquette is sweet. Everything is sweet about the Lord of sweetness. His cowherd boys are sweet, his cows are sweet. His herding stick is sweet, his creation is sweet, his trampling is sweet, his fruitfulness is sweet. Everything. Madhuradipade akhilam madhuram. What to say? Everything is sweet about the Lord of sweetness. So that's about Madhurashtaka. So try to understand the meaning of Vaishnava bhajans. It's so nice. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself used to like this, the bhajans, and he have a secretary called Swarup Damodar. So many poets, they compose different Vaishnava bhajans and go to Mahaprabhu. But Mahaprabhu doesn't like rasa abhas. Rasa abhas in the sense, you can't compare the rasa in Vaikunta and Goloka to be the same. Or you can't, because it's completely different. It's Aishwarya Bhav in Vaikunta, but in, like, you go to the office and you can't, even if it's your dad as an MD in the office or the boss in the office, you can't just talk some personal things there. You need to be like official. So that's the official relationship in Vaikunta. But the same dad comes at home and then you are like friends. So that is in Vrindavan, Golok Vrindavan. So rasa abhas is you mixing the rasas of Vaikunta and Goloka, which is not nice. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu doesn't like to hear such songs. So always any poets who compose the song has to go through Swarup Damodar, then reach Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Swarup Damodar have to approve the bhajans which they compose. So most of the bhajans by Narottam Das Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, they all the acharyas. So that's all accepted as the Vaishnava bhajans. It's nice. Those who know Bengali, it's very nice to understand the meaning. But those who don't know also can try to hear the Vaishnava bhajans. It's very nice. Okay, so let's start with today's chapter. It's a short chapter, characteristics of one in ecstatic love. ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निधि नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशधारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So next week is the last chapter of Nectar of Devotion, and we can end by singing the Goswami Ashtakam, because the Goswamis have given this wonderful book. Okay, so one in ecstatic love, the character. What is the character? So ecstatic love. So can someone just refresh yesterday's class? What do you mean by ecstatic love? What is that stage called, and how do you reach there? What are the different ways to reach ecstatic love? We learned it yesterday, and anyone remembers? It's okay if you're wrong. No response? Hare Krishna. I'll give chance to co-host. Sunita Mataji, something you remember? Yes.
Kripa Siddha. Siddha and Sadhana Siddha, Mataji.
Very good. So Kripa Siddha, Sadhana Siddha, and Nitya Siddha. So the best way is Kripa Siddhas. And something about ecstatic love, Geeta Mataji. I mean, what is that stage called? After sadhana bhakti, where does we reach? Sadhana bhakti, you have
bhava, that is
bhava bhakti, right? So ecstatic love is nothing but the bhava or the mood in which you develop. So it's near to prema bhakti, but then it's in the higher level. Okay, bhava bhakti. And yes, someone put in the chat, yes, these are all the symptoms they have, like they'll be like tears coming and trembling, and they'll faint. Yes, these are all the ecstatic symptoms that we described yesterday. We described about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was having ecstatic symptom, and a devotee, pure devotee, doesn't reveal it. No, he doesn't reveal it to you, but then you understand what happened. So another example is Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj. He after the stroke, he recovered very fast. I mean, his recovery was tremendous, and all the physiotherapists and all the doctors were like, it's so wonderful. I mean, it's just a wonder to see a person recovering so fast after a stroke. All glories to him. But he proved that he's not his body. So basically what was coming to him is not his karma, it was his disciples' karma. Most of the disciples, sad to say, that not following the four regulative principles, not following the oath which they took. So what happens? It reflects on the guru. So if we want our guru to be healthy and a guru to be with us for a long time, then we should always try to keep our promise to him. So when you're taking ashraya, you should become serious, and you should, because whatever you do now, the sin is going to the guru. So that is a real bigger sin which you're doing, because to give the sin of yours to the guru takes it out of mercy. So when Srila Prabhupada was there on the planet, even then he installed his murti. You've seen Srila Prabhupada's deities are there in so many temples. Even the small deities are there, which they can do the abhishek, the brass one, and also bigger deities are there. So Prabhupada was still alive, and those time it was Prabhupada was almost nearing to his he was ending his pastimes, and his health was not doing good. So one devotee, he took a flight and went to meet Prabhupada. And he personally met Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, you're not supposed to keep your deity in the temples. I mean, actually, it's bad. It's okay if you go back to Krishna Lok and then we can keep your deity. For now, I think picture is enough. But keeping a deity means you are taking the sin of all your disciples in a deity form. And what did Prabhupada reply? What for did I come to the earth? I mean, I have come here to take the sin of my disciples, my grand disciples, my grand disciples. So when you're taking shelter or initiation under Prabhupada's disciples, you're getting directly connected to Prabhupada and directly connected to the Guru Parampara and reaching Krishna. So Prabhupada's like, I have come here to take the sins of my disciples, grand disciples. We are all grand disciples now to Prabhupada. So he's like, it's okay, my deity, let my deities be installed everywhere, and I'm coming here to take your sin. So I mean, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come for that, to deliver the sinful souls in Kali Yuga. So Guru Maharaj, he was doing puja, he was doing arti in ISKCON Mayapur. So he recovered fast, and many said that he proves that he's not the body, his soul, because he was so powerful in preaching. Even there were so many obstacles. When we have fever, when we have little bit of headache, we give up all our devotional service for that day. But we have to learn it. I mean, he's a living example to prove that whatever obstacles comes, you stay fixed in devotional service. So Guru Maharaj was doing arti, and he was crying seeing Radha Madhav, he was crying seeing the Panchatatvas. And one neophyte devotee, she was very new, she was thinking, Guru Maharaj is crying because of his material condition, because he's not well. But then there was another senior devotee who said, no, this is the bhava, this is the ecstatic love which a devotee shows to Krishna. How merciful you are to me, Krishna. When you go in front of Krishna, just pray to him like that. Instead of asking so many material things in life, Krishna, I want that, I want this, I want this. What can you give to Krishna? Your gratitude. I mean, being so grateful, Krishna, you have given me a human form, and you have given me Krishna consciousness. I mean, that's the greatest gift I can ever receive. And you have given me a nice Guru Parampara to be with, and all these books and shastras, and you've given the taste for Harinam. And Guru Maharaj was giving thanksgiving to Krishna for all the mercy that was coming through the acharyas. No, that's coming from Krishna. Where is it coming? The acharyas, how are they giving to us? Through Krishna. So one in ecstatic love is actually, and so in ecstatic love, yes, there are different moods. The bhava, it can be the madhurya ras is the highest. Okay. So what is the characteristics of one who's how do you know that, yes, this devotee is in bhava state? These are the 9 symptoms of bhava bhakti by Srila Rupa Goswami. First is shanti. So we'll see in detail. So it's called perseverance. That means remaining tolerant and patient even among disturbances. Like there's a lot of disturbance in that person's personal life, or anywhere, at work, at home, or anywhere. There's a lot of disturbances coming. There are 3 type of miseries, no, that comes to us. What are they? 4 type of main problems we have is birth, death, old age, disease. I'm asking the 3-fold miseries. What are the 3-fold miseries a conditioned soul have to face? Yes, Reddy Prabhu.
Miseries arising out of mind.
Yes.
Miseries inflicted by other creatures. Miseries inflicted by demigods.
Very good. You know the Sanskrit terms?
Yes, Mataji. Adi Bhautik, Adi Adhyatmik, or Adi Daivik.
Very good. Okay. Okay, so these are the, what happened? Are you able to hear me?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Its screen is not responding.
Get confused. Sometimes what happened? You get confused about the defects and the problems and the miseries. The 4 defects we have is imperfect senses, then we commit mistakes, we have the propensity to cheat others, and we are illusioned. These are the 4 defects we have. And we also have, oh Krishna. Just a second.
Zoom meeting is.
Yeah. What's it showing?
Participants tab not responding.
Oh. Okay, but you're able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Wait.
Now it's okay.
Age disease and threefold miseries. It's okay? Okay. So there are threefold miseries. Adhyatmic, Adidevik, Adibhautik. Okay. Adi Atmic is that's coming from your body and mind. Yes, sometimes we have fever, sometimes your mind is not good, and all that is Adhyatmic. Adidevik is from your nature. That is some kind of heavy rains and floods and tsunamis and all that, earthquakes and all the natural famines. And then Adi Baudik, that's coming from other living entities, like there is even a mosquito in the house or a snake can disturb you. So these are the threefold miseries which we face. Okay, so a person in bhava bhakti, he remains tolerant and patient even among the threefold miseries or disturbances that's coming. Let it be from his body, let it be from his relatives, or let it be from the nature or anything. He is always tolerant and patient even among the disturbances. So something is wrong. You're able to see the screen, Prabhu?
The
Yes.
preview version. This participants tab is not responding.
Yeah, that's what is coming to me. So I'm not able to.
In the Zoom meeting, I will have to be.
What? We need to restart? No, right?
Mataji, let the presentation go on.
Yeah.
The participant one, we need to. Yeah.
Okay. So, yes. So now the screen is clear, right?
Yes. Mataji.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So that is the first symptom, perseverance. That means remaining tolerant and patient even among the disturbances. That's how a pure devotee is. That means whatever comes and blocks him, still he continues determined in his path of devotional service. Nothing can, because he already reached the stage of bhava bhakti. He's not in sadhana bhakti stage. Okay. Sometimes we get disturbed because of some silly things in life. Yes, that's true, because we are doing Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. But this is, I'm talking about a pure devotee who have reached bhava bhakti stage. Okay. Second is avyartha kalotam.
Hare Krishna. We'll wait for 2 minutes because it was hanging to getting restarted. Zoom. Hare Krishna. Meanwhile, we request all the devotees who have not put their attendance, please put that. It is already posted.
Hare Krishna, sorry for that. I had some issue with the network. Prabhu, can you hear me?
Yes,
Hare Krishna. Okay, sorry. Okay, so now let's, okay. So I was talking about 8, 8, 8. Okay, dividing your time into 8. So that means Bhaktivinoda Thakur says 8 hours for your body. So that means 6 hours to sleep. Okay, next 2 hours, okay, to take bath and brush and all that. Your body, you're taking care of the body. Yes, that's also important, because you can't just reject like Mayavadis and say this body is material and I don't want it. No, for your soul to do devotional service, you got a human form of life, and you have to keep it healthy and you have to keep it fit so that you can do more devotional service, not for to build some muscles or something, but to keep it in a healthy way to do devotional service. So 8 hours for your body. Agree. We use more than that actually, but then 8 hours for your karma or your work or job. Any work which is above 8 hours, I think that's a little bit of hectic if you're working for 10 hours, 12 hours. Yes, I know that the corporate sector is like that, but then sometimes, most of the time, it's not like you're busy throughout the day of the work. Sometimes you get some kind of a break in the office, so you can always have a small Prabhupada's book with you. So I had a senior devotee, I know him. Always, Mataji had a book of Srila Prabhupada with her. Wherever, no matter where she goes, in the train or wherever she's traveling, she's always having a small books. There's small size books for Prabhupada, like the Matchless Gift and Teachings of Prahlad and Kunti Devi. The small books available, very nice to carry, and she always have it in her office desk. So whenever I get free time, just go through it. So yes, 8 hours of karma. Okay, otherwise you have to do your job, and then 8 hours for spiritual life. And how many hours are we giving? Okay, 2 hours for your 16 rounds, and after that 0. So just 2 hours, and might be half an hour, 1 hour Bhakti Vrikshas, or some Shravanam happens on Saturday, Sunday, like 1 hour, 2 hours might be. Okay, so 3-4 hours. And after that, are we reading Prabhupada's books? How long? 10 minutes? 5 minutes? Not half an hour and 1 hour. Not possible for sometimes. But sometimes you get the taste and you go on reading. That's good. Are you consistent? Are you reading it every day? 8 hours for devotional service. I think that's where we get stuck. But this is what Bhaktivinoda Thakur says. Even though he was a grihastha, even though he was a magistrate, he used to use his time in a proper way. So avyartha kalatvam, he always keep thinking, where did I lose my time, or where am I wasting some time? Am I doing some devotional service? Always in mind. So that's avyartha kalatvam. Virakti, yes, he's completely indifferent to the objects of sense gratification. Detached from what? Sense gratification. Yes, you like to eat some paneer. Okay, instead of just cooking it and eating yourself, why don't you just offer it to Krishna as a bhog and take it as prasad and have it? Then you are doing devotional service, but you're satisfying your senses as well. So a devotee, but then a person in Bhava Bhakti, he is okay to eat whatever little thing is available. When you go to Vrindavan, you see a lot of Babajis doing Madhukari. Madhukari means they have a begging pot and they go from house to house. They get some breja rotis or whatever they get, they're satisfied. So Virakti, they just want to maintain their body. Too much of endeavoring will cause problems, no? Atyahara prayasya prajalpaniya magrahaja jana sangasya laulyam cha shadbir bhaktir vinashyati. The nectar of instruction says the 6 things which destroy a bhakti is ati ahara, overeating, right? Even undereating is also a problem. You feel sick. So Virakti is regulating and getting detached from sense gratification. Mana shunyata means pridelessness, to feel humble, free from longing for being shown respect. So manashunyata, that is manashunyata. He doesn't want the respect from anyone. That is amanina manadena kirtaniya satahari. So he is humble and he's not proud that, oh, I'm a great devotee, and he doesn't show that I'm a great devotee. No. Asha Bandha, hope. to be always certain that Krishna will bestow his mercy on oneself. That means have strong faith. Avashya rakshibe Krishna. Whatever happens to me, Krishna will take care. And if you have that confidence, like a small child have it on his mother or father, that yes, whatever happens, my father is going to protect me. So that is the confidence that a Bhava Bhakti devotee has. Samutkanta, that means intense eagerness, and intense eagerness to achieve one's desire, supreme object, prema bhakti. Okay, I'm in bhava bhakti stage. Let me endeavor more and more and more. And it's not like you reach bhava bhakti and prema bhakti, you leave devotional service. No. Then you become a sahajiya. No. So they reach to a stage that they can never leave Krishna consciousness. They can never leave chanting. Nama gane sada ruchi. That's a very nice quality. Thirst for God's name. Thirst arising for constant chanting of the Lord's name. So you're thirsty to hear about. So Prabhupada says, you can assess whether you are advancing in Krishna consciousness yourself. Okay, let me see. How many of you like hearing lectures about Krishna? Geeta Mataji likes, Netravati Mataji, Usha Mataji. Okay, all of you? How many? Let me see who all don't like, huh? Okay. Might be it's Bhagavad Gita, it's Bhagavatam, or whatever it is, but about the Lord. You like to hear about the Lord, and you like to hear more and more about the Lord. Very nice. So that means congratulations to all of you. You are in the path of advancing. Okay, so all of you are advancing. That means Prabhupada's like, you can assess yourself. You don't have to ask your mentors to see whether you're advancing. You can assess. Am I getting taste to Harinam? Am I getting taste to hear more and more about Krishna? You're advancing for sure, because you're having nama gane sada ruchi, not sada, at least you're having the taste to hear. And you lose simultaneously, what happens? You lose taste in material things. What gossips, what Bollywood movies and that and this and films and sports and everything. You're like, I used to enjoy this before, but now I got a higher taste. No. So most of them who come to Krishna conscious, like, what's happening to me? I mean, your material friends, they're like, what is the use of calling her? I mean, if I call her, she's going to talk about Krishna. She's going to talk about Bhagavad Gita and things like that. And her attitude is completely changed. So let me just decrease the association. So you like to be friends, but then they don't like hearing about Krishna. But then you like to call someone who's a devotee, who's chanting, and you like to talk to them like hours together. Why? Because you are getting that nama gana sada ruchi. You are associating with like-minded people and devotees. So this is what is happening, no? Attachment to Krishna, detachment from material things. But yes, we need to balance both. We can't be like aliens, and we can't say that I don't want any material friends and all that. But see, Harinam will do magic. And you see your devotee circles are increasing, your friends and devotees are increasing, and the materialistic people come a little bit start decreasing, because you're losing taste in material things and getting a higher taste. Param drishtva nivartante. No, that happens when you get a higher taste. So a bhava bhakti devotee always have that thirst to hear about Krishna, always like to hear about Krishna, because it said, Matchitta Matkata Prana, Bodayanda Parasparam, Kadayandascha Mam Nityam Tushyanti Charamanti Cha. When the devotees meet, what happens? Harikatha happens. And they like to hear nice pastimes of the Lord. Asaktis Tad Gunakhyane means attachment to God's qualities, a natural attachment to describe the qualities and pastimes and so on. So you like always to describe about the Lord. You like to describe his pastimes, his qualities. You don't, if you didn't hear a pastime, you're like, oh, what happened that day? I mean, what is this picture about? And you feel curious to know about the pastimes of the Lord. And Pritis Tat Vasati Stale. That means desire to live in the Dham, the desire to reside in the places of Lord's pastimes, such as Vrindavan, Mayapur, and Jagannath Puri. Wherever the Lord's pastimes have happened, you feel like living there, or you feel like visiting such places. So that is Pritis Tat Vasati Stale. So these are the 9 symptoms of Bhava Bhakti. We can't copy it, but then we can take inspiration from that, inspire, get. So perseverance, that means he's undisturbed even in the presence of various causes of disturbance. He's called a reserved and perseverant person. So who is this? This person who's sitting on the floor. He's the best example for tolerance and being humble. What is the situation here? Yes, Sarita Mataji.
Mataji, is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu?
No. I'll give a clue. No, if I give this person's name, then it's easy. Okay, this is Shukadev Goswami. Prakash Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes.
He is Rupa Goswami.
No. Who is this? Who is that? Who is the one who was listening from Shukadev Goswami for 7 days? The banks of Ganges. Yes, Mataji.
Parikshit Maharaj, ma'am.
Yes, it's Parikshit. Okay, so you might get confused here. That's Parikshit. Okay. You're not seeing this picture? Okay. I mean, you're seeing the... you're seeing. Okay, that's Parikshit, who is getting advice from Shukadev Goswami. Now, Parikshit, what is the situation when he's sitting in front of Shukadev Goswami? He got the curse of being bitten by a snake and he's going to die in 7 days. Did he go against the curse? He could have, because he's the grandson of Arjuna and he is very strong in his devotional service. He could have reversed the curse, or he could have prayed to Krishna to take away the curse from him. And he had a lot of disturbance at that time, that something happens, like you are in a difficult situation, and can you still go and hear about the Lord at that time? We're so much disturbed because the fear of death is there in everyone. So when you really face problems, when you have disease and all, you lose hope, and then we get disturbed. But then a person who reached Bhava Bhakti stage, he is not disturbed even in the presence of so many disturbances. So Parikshit is a right example Rupa Goswami gives in this heading. And then pridelessness. Yes, when a devotee, in spite of possessing the qualities of pure realization, is not proud of his position, he's called prideless. He's not saying that, oh, I'm a great devotee, I advanced so much. When we are in neophyte stage, there is some kind of competition. I chanted so many rounds. How many you chant? Or I did that. I did Nirjal fasting and I did so many rounds. You keep off telling about your sadhana. Actually, that's in the initial stage. But later on, as we advance, we should not say so much about our sadhana to others, because you become, you don't take the pride of doing the sadhana and you feel that your sadhana is not good than others. Or the screen is freezed. You're not able to see the screen? Co-host, can you reply? Someone?
Mataji, the same slide is on Sukadev
Which one?
Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj. Right.
Okay. I don't know what's happening today. Some network issue. Okay, can you able to see now?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Okay. So let me go like this for some time. Okay, so this is, who's this king? I'll give a clue. He was the king of Orissa, and he helped in Radha-yatra. Yes, Sunita Mataji.
Indradyumna Mataji.
No. Yes, Indradyumna Maharaj is associated with Jagannath, but now in this picture, who met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu?
Rudra Pratap.
Prataprudra. Yes, very good. Prataprudra Maharaj, and he was the king of Orissa. Yes, even though he was the king during Jagannath Radha-yatra, he comes personally sweep the floor for Jagannath to come. Okay. Yes, Prataprudra. So he actually went and met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He wanted to meet Mahaprabhu very badly. But Mahaprabhu was like, I am a sannyasi. What should I do with a king who's a materialistic person? I don't like to meet someone who's materialistic. So because that's what Mahaprabhu says, Asat Sangatyagaye Vaishnavachara. A pure devotee, he goes to preach to the materialistic people, but he don't take association from them. He gives association, right? So he wanted to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So everyone told him, don't worry, you can meet him, but first you change your costume. You don't go like a materialistic person, which is so much gold. Take a nice Vaishnava dress and then try to see Mahaprabhu. So he was hiding and seeing, but then he badly wanted to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave permission for his son to be, and he met his son, but then Prataprudra Varma was very, he was not at all proud of his position. Even though he was the king, he was ready even to massage Lord's feet. So he went there, and the Lord was not initially seeing him, but then he sang Gopi Geet, and the 4 lines which he sang was Tava Katamritam Tapta Jivanam Kavi Viredidam Kalmashapaham Shravana Mangalam Shripadam Tadam Bhuvi Krinantiye Bhurirajana. So he sang Gopi Geet, which is very dear to Jagannath and very dear to Krishna. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who's Radha Krishna nahi anya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna nahi anya, so they both are same. And then Mahaprabhu just hugged them with ecstasy. So he was not at all proud. And then Namagane Sadaruji, who is this? Attachment to chanting the holy name of the Lord 24 hours a day. Who was that Vaishnava? Who was Geeta Mataji?
Haridas Thakur.
Very good. Namacharya Haridas Thakur. So 24 hours he was into chanting. So Namagane Sadaruchi. They are all in bhava state. When Haridas Thakur was getting older and older, and he was in Jagannath Puri, he couldn't even complete his rounds of 3 lakhs name of Harinam one day. He could not complete, and he was not taking his prasad because of that. And Mahaprabhu is like, you're already in bhava stage. You're already in the prema stage. Why are you doing like a sadhana bhakta? But then he was very determined. Whatever happens, he had so much of taste in Harinam. That's why he got the name Nama Acharya. So characteristics of one in ecstatic love, Bhava Bhakti. What is that? 9 things. Avyartha Kalatvam. He utilizes the time properly in devotional service. Shanti, that is perseverance. He's reserved and tolerant and patient in among the lot of difficulties. Example given was Parikshit Maharaj. Virakti, detachment, like Bharat Maharaj. He was detached from all material things. He gave up all material things and went to the forest for his sadhana. Then Manashunyata, that is, he doesn't want any respect. I mean, he's prideless. That's King Prataparudra. And there is also in Calcutta, there was a landlord called Lal Babu. When you read Nectar of Devotion, you see he was a landlord in Calcutta, but he left everything and went to Vrindavan to spend a simple life. He went door to door begging. So when you go begging, what happens? You're taking away all the pride from you. When you're doing obeisances to someone, what are you saying? Thinking, I'm not a professional, or I'm not so and so. I'm just a servant of Lord, and become so humble and not so much proud of your devotional service. Asha Bandha, that is Rupa Goswami's prayer that Krishna will bestow mercy on me one day. Okay, eager to serve the Lord, Billo Mangalam Thakur in Krishna Karnamrita, he says faithfully that I always want to serve the Lord 24 hours a day. I don't want moksha or liberation. Namagana Sadaruchi, again in Krishna Karnamrita, he says attachment to chanting like Haridas Thakur. Eager to describe the qualities of the Lord. Okay, then attraction for living in a place where Krishna had his pastimes. Okay, now I feel all these 9 qualities was in Srila Prabhupada. Don't you all agree? He used his time properly. He slept 2 hours a day, 10 to 12 p.m. 12 a.m. And then early morning, he was translating his books, or he was chanting, or he was giving lectures, or he was cooking prasad. Something he was always involved in utilizing his time in Krishna consciousness. A perseverance, yes. When you read Lilamrita, you'll come to know how much struggle Prabhupada took. All of you, please read Lilamrita. You really feel grateful to Prabhupada. You really appreciate the movement, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, after reading the struggle of a person at the age of 70 with just 40 rupees, building up this Krishna consciousness. It was not easy, but he was empowered by Krishna, and he was reserved. Whatever happens, there were so many people. There was a Mr. N in Mumbai. For that Radha Ras Bihari temple in Juhu. Now that the office is in Juhu, and that temple came up after a long struggle. So Prabhupada says he's like Kamsa. Kamsa used to send so many demons to disturb Krishna's pastime. Similarly, this person gave the land to Prabhupada, and then he had a case filed and he was not giving the land again. There were so many problems. But Prabhupada was reserved, and whatever happened, he's like, Krishna, I have promised you a temple and the temple is going to come. So he had so much faith and he was detached. Even though he had, like, after coming back to India and establishing 108 temples, he had 40 crores of rupees. That's what he was saying. I went with 40 rupees and I came back with 40 crores. No businessman would have ever made such profit because Krishna is providing, right? And he was not attached to even a single rupee. His lifestyle was very simple. He was detached from everything. He was never proud and said that I am the spiritual master of so many people. No, Prabhupada says, Krishna have sent these souls to me. They are my spiritual master. Instead of me becoming the spiritual master, I am a servant. Prabhupada says, I am a servant of all of you. And thank you for helping me to spread my guru's message abroad. And Prabhupada used to cry to being so humble. And he's not at all proud by saying that I established such a big temple. No, he had so great hope that this movement is going to grow. Because when Prabhupada sees a small child dancing in the kirtan, he gives prasad to a small child. When the youngsters come to Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada is so happy because he knows the movement is going to go on. So Prabhupada started it, but the movement is going on because of his disciples. And then we are the grand disciples. We should take it up and spread the movement. So great hope he had that yes, Krishna is going to deliver all of them. Then eagerness for achieving the desired success. What was Prabhupada's aim? To spread Krishna consciousness in the West and to print books. No, that happened. BBT is printing a lot of books. Whatever books you have, it's all from BBT. No, the Bhaktivedanta Book Trust. So he had a desire success and he achieved it. An attachment to chanting the holy name. You'll never see Prabhupada without this bead bag traveling. Always in flight or ship, wherever he goes, he always chanted the holy name. Eagerness to glorify Krishna's qualities. Wherever he go, he always speaks about Krishna. And attraction for living in Dham. Prabhupada wants to personally live in Vrindavan. He was there for some time only in Vrindavan, not for long. Prabhupada always, wherever he traveled, he always thought about Vrindavan. And he told his disciples, I like to stay in Vrindavan. But then Prabhupada's like, if I do that, I'm doing my sense gratification. I'm trying to satisfy my senses by staying in Vrindavan. But if I don't stay and go around the world, he traveled all 14 times around the world in 11 years. If I do that, then I'm doing it for Krishna. So even though he's like, even though I'm in New York, even though I'm in Boston, wherever it is, still my mind is in Vrindavan. So not physically living in Vrindavan, but your mind being there. So I feel like Prabhupada, he comes in, he is in higher stage than this. He's in prema stage, but then he comes through all these bhava stage characteristics. A neophyte or a non-devotee exhibiting the signs of bhava, is it really possible? That's what I'm saying. So sometimes a neophyte might seem crying or having these symptoms, but that's not the ecstatic symptoms. That is actually the chaya or the shadow. Okay, you can see here a shadow or a reflection. So if sincere devotees don't attain bhava, how can non-devotees attain? No. So therefore, they exhibit only a reflection of the bhava. Yes, it's possible for a pure devotee, but for a neophyte, Kanishta Adhikari, it's a reflection. So when you cry when you're chanting, don't think that, oh, I'm in ecstatic love with Krishna. No, that's actually a reflection. Okay, yes, you're on the path of reaching the goal, but then it's a pradibimba, a reflective or a shadow. There are two types. Pradibimba or reflective means person have corrupt motive but intense practice. Okay, you're practicing intensely. And also in Pradibimba, there is association of advanced devotee. By associating with advanced devotees, you get the reflection. Like always associate Prabhupada, you get the mood, the bhav. And the chaya or the shadow means person executes out of social convention or curiosity, less intense compared to, but motive not as corrupt. And especially when the kirtan is going on, when you visit a dham, when you attend your festivals, occasional association with devotees, that's just a chaya or a shadow. It's not real. It's less intense. It's not like 24 hours you are like that. No. It's only to show kind of a show when there is a lot of people. Sometimes it happens when you go to Vrindavan, you see, we visit different places. Some devotees, they are neophytes, suddenly burst out crying or suddenly they fall unconscious. But Prabhupada never mind all that, because Prabhupada know that's just a chaya or a shadow. Okay, so chaya or shadow means only in certain places you can see, especially when the kirtan is going on, when you visit dham and all that. But pratibimba or reflection is your intense practice is there, and you get it from advanced devotees. Okay, so that is the different types of bhava. And how to convert this Ratya bhava to genuine bhava is by serving a guru. Okay, the mercy flows, and it's blocked by offenses, but you should take care of the offenses. Whatever attachments, real or imagined, will disappear. And worst offenses, wanting to be one with the whole, that is impersonalism. Now, some people, they want to become God. Oh, I am God, or I'm Radharani. No, that's Sahajiya concept. So the offenses should be taken care, and you have to serve your guru. Then your bhava becomes genuine bhava. So unexpected symptoms, those are genuine. If without going regulative principles, one develops high standard of devotion. So without going through regulative principles, you can't reach that stage. Okay, former life have devotional credits. Yes, sometimes you might be able to chant 8 rounds very soon. And then after 8 rounds, you get stuck. And you're like, I'm not going to 9 or 10. I'm not reaching 16. Why I'm getting stuck in 8? Because that's coming from your previous life. Sometimes you feel like, oh, I know the sloka so well. I mean, some slokas you can memorize so easily. No, some slokas you get stuck. You need a lot of time to remember the sloka. That means that sloka you are doing it in this life, and the previous sloka you have done already in your previous life. So some credits that comes from your previous life. Ajnana sudritis comes, temporarily it will be stopped because of offenses, can steadily progress only in the association of pure devotees. You get a second chance. Okay, sometimes what happens, we fall down and we get a second chance. So we have to serve a guru. The disciple and the spiritual master are never separated, because the spiritual master always keeps company with the disciple as long as the disciple follows strictly the instructions of the spiritual master. This is called association by Vani, or words. Physical presence is Vapu. As long as the spiritual master is physically present, the disciple should serve the physical body of the spiritual master. Not everyone can do that. When the spiritual master is no longer physically existing, the disciple should serve the instructions of the spiritual master. That is what we should do, Vani Seva. Okay, the instructions has to be followed. We are almost done. So if a person in Bhava platform has fault, then what to do? Is it serious? No, because he is still in Krishna consciousness, in devotional service. For momentarily, he might just fall. So how should one see that? We have to disregard the faults. Very soon, he will become perfect by the force of his devotion. And Narasimha Purana also says that it cannot be checked by the illumination of the moon cannot be checked by the pocket marks on the full moon. There might be some dots in the moon, but still moon is moon. So similarly, the sloka says, no, apichet suduracha ropachante mam ananyabhak sadureva samandavya samyak vyavasito hisa. If one commits the most abominable action, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly, sadhu, because he's properly situated in his determination. So faults can happen even to a Bhava Bhakti stage. A devotee in Bhava Bhakti can also, so you might see when you, especially in Bhakti Vriksha or you're associating with devotees, there will be faults coming. You can't expect a Vaikuntha here or a Golok Vrindavan here, expecting all the devotees to behave nicely to you, or no misunderstanding, or there will be faults. No, because we are all spirit soul, we are just conditioned, we are neophytes. So anarthas are there in us. You can't expect everyone to be pure souls. Yes, there are devotees who are very nice, who is tolerant and everything. But sometimes some words of some devotees might hurt you. Sometimes some kind of an action or some kind of a behavior might cause some kind of disturbance to you. But that doesn't mean you have to leave the association. You need to tolerate and be there, because still he did some sin, but still he's fixed in devotional service. But continuously doing sin on the strength of chanting is wrong. But once in a while, if that devotee fall down, we should consider him saintly, because he is properly situated in his determination or chanting. So adjust and tolerate, that's very important among the devotees, because there will be problems. You might feel like, oh, this is also like materialistic world. I mean, I had problems with friends outside. Even in devotee circle, there are problems. Yes, it do happen. And Prabhupada says, ISKCON can never be destroyed from outside. It can be destroyed from inside. So from within inside the community, one devotee can misbehave or one devotee can go against the rules. We try to correct them. We still have to see them as saintly. We try to help them. Still, if they don't want to stay, just leave them. But you can't force someone to stay with us. No, but then if we can try to solve their problems and bring them back to devotional service, we are doing a great service. Okay, so I think we end here. So to sum up, these are the 9 symptoms of Bhava Bhakti. Okay, perseverance, Avyarta Kalatam, taking your time in a proper way, Virakti, pridelessness, hoping that Krishna will bestow his mercy one day, intense eager to serve the Lord, Namagane Sada Ruji, Asakti, about to talk about the Lord, and Preeti Tat Vasati Stale, like to be in the pastime place of Krishna. So once someone go to Vrindavan, you lose your heart there. You don't feel like coming back, but then we are forced to come back. But that's nice actually. And you like to visit the dham, you like to see the dham. That's also a nice thing. Okay, so these are the 9 symptoms in Bhava Bhakti. We can't copy it, but then yes, if a devotee fulfills all these, then definitely they are in Bhava Bhakti stage. So next week, we're going to take the last chapter, which is devotional service in pure love of God. That's Prema Bhakti. Hi. Okay. So, and then we end the part 1 here. So next week, Saturday, we'll have this chapter. And after that, I'll let you know what's going to happen. This is going to level 4. Please do. And some have just done from chapter 7 of Nectar of Devotion. Can I get some raised hand? Who all are the ones, or who all are the devotees